Hello everyone, it's me Arden Lee. I am back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to answer a question about how can you let someone know who you're close to in your life when they are crossing one of your boundaries. How do you speak up for yourself and let them know that maybe something that they did or are doing is not super cool with you? So before we get into that topic, as always, I would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel and or like my page if you have not yet done so already. If you're not yet familiar with me and my work, my name is Arden Lee and I am the creator of the Repatterning Project, which is an 8-week course where we hack our beliefs and we examine all of our patterns so that we can break them if we want to and establish new ones that get us closer to our goals of happiness, success, abundance, fulfillment, everything that optimizes our lives to look the way that we want them to look so we can bring that reality that we're creating even closer to us. So if that sounds like something that you're into, go ahead and check out the description box where I have left a link to a free PDF guide about the Repatterning Project so you can learn a little bit more about what it is that we do. And I also have a link to the Repatterning Parlor, which is the free Facebook group that I moderate for people who are interested in improving their lives and coming together and supporting one another on that path forward. As you guys know, surrounding yourself with the right people who have the same beliefs that you yourself want to start assimilating into your own consciousness is one of the keys to moving forward on your path, getting that support from people who believe in you the way that you also want to believe in you, right? And also believe in themselves. So come join us and say hi. Come hang with us, hang with the cool kids. All right. So, so today we're going to be talking about this idea of how do you draw a boundary with someone, essentially, especially if it's someone who is already in your life, someone that you're already close to, and how do you stick up for yourself? So this is a question that was asked by someone who is in the group that I moderate, and I kind of want to bring it back to this really fundamental concept, because the how of how you establish boundaries with someone, how do you speak up for yourself, how do you let someone know that they've crossed a boundary of yours, that is going to get so much easier if you start committing to surrounding yourself with people who care about your feelings, right? If you have people in your life, hopefully your close friends, your romantic partners, we can't always control who we work with necessarily, in our work environments, but we can try to aim for, to work in places that have positive cultures of people, right? Like a positive environment, good attitudes. Every workplace has its own culture. In this economy, I know we can't be super picky, but we at least want to start bringing conscious awareness to the kind of people that we're choosing to surround ourselves with, right? Because fundamentally, if we're surrounding ourselves with people who care about our well-being, who care about our happiness, and especially who care about the part that they play in our lives and how they're directly affecting us, then that really solves 90% of this problem, right? Because at that point, if you can really trust that the people in your life care about the way that they're making you feel, then really all you have to do is say something. And it can be really quite simple. It can really just be, hey, I assume that you didn't, you had really great intentions. I know you care about me. But when you did this one thing the other day, it kind of made me feel bad. I didn't, I wasn't super cool with it. And I trust that that was not something that you knew. It was not something I felt comfortable speaking out about at the time because, I had to think about it a little bit. But I would really appreciate if in the future, if this kind of situation arises again, maybe we could handle it this way instead. Is that cool with you? And a person who is in your life, who cares about the way that they're making you feel, is going to be grateful that you told them this, right? I know when I have someone in my life and they let me know that something that I did wasn't cool with them, you know, I think if anything, I get like a little embarrassed that I didn't know better. But mostly I'm like, thank you for telling me. If anything, I almost like wish you had told me sooner because I don't, I care about you being in my life and I don't want to do something that's pissing you off, right? So having people in your life who you can trust to hold that space for you, to listen to you, and to really take in the ways that what they're doing in your life is affecting you. If you can trust people to do that, then you start to realize that establishing a boundary with them is actually doing them a favor, right? It hopefully shouldn't be something that creates conflict because it's actually going to be an act of generosity where you're letting them know how they can better show up as a friend or partner in your life, right? I know for people that I care about, I'm always interested in how I can be better, you know? I'm always interested in, I like positive feedback too. I love it when people tell me what I'm doing right. When they're like, wow, I really appreciate the way that you do X, Y, Z. Like, that's so wonderful. I'm like, great, then I'll keep doing that, But of course, if there's something that I'm doing that they don't like, I want to know that too. And that's really the fundamental root of this issue, right? This is really, at the end of the day, about our trust in our ability to surround ourselves with people who actually care about us. We have to believe that we are worthy of having boundaries, that we are worthy of having standards, that it's okay for us to say, yes, I like this, and no, I don't like that. And that's really, honestly, that's kind of a fundamental human right when you think about it, Our ability to speak to our friends and loved ones and say, hey, this is how this behavior is affecting me. Can we look at making an adjustment? The pitfall, of course, the thing that you'll be gaslighted into, the thing that I was gaslighted into when I was dating someone who definitely did not want to take any kind of responsibility for how he was, the way he was treating me was affecting me and my emotions. When I said to him, hey, like, I think I should be able to speak up about how something is making me feel, and you should really care about that, and you should care about how it's affecting me. And he said essentially like, well, yeah, but the implication, this is many years ago, so I don't remember exactly what the words were, but what he essentially said back to that was, well, yeah, but then you could just speak up about anything, right? Then you're just dictating me and my behavior and what I do at all times or whatever. Well, ultimately the solution to that situation was that was not the right person for me to be in a relationship with, because his issues and his own sense of safety and his own autonomy were so threatened apparently that his he wanted to protect his right to abuse me essentially as part of his free will, and that was not a match. You don't need to stay in the lives of people who don't care about the way that you feel just because I don't know, they're family, or you have history together, or on paper there's someone that you think you should like. At the end of the day, if they don't care about how their behavior is affecting you, if they don't listen to your drawing a boundary and say, thank you for letting me know, then why are they your friends, right? I understand sometimes that, there's people in our lives that we have to be around that we can't necessarily, control. So for example, maybe there's family members that you haven't been able to escape. Maybe there's in-laws, who are treating you poorly. And, in that situation, that can be a really complicated thing that you may need to work out with your partner, to have your partner sort of serve as a buffer. There may be colleagues, coworkers that you have to deal with because your livelihood depends on co-working in the same space with them, right? So in those instances, of course, you're going to run into people where they're going to get defensive. There's going to be friction, right? They're going to say, well, I wouldn't do that if you just didn't do this thing or whatever. But understand that those tactics are manipulation, and you don't have to play in that game. you can, you know, in many situations, if you can just walk away, then just walk away. In other situations that you can't walk away from, such as, maybe it's, you're like I said, it's your in-laws, and you need your partner to kind of act as a buffer or step in and say like, hey, mom or dad, I need you to do a couple things differently when my partner and I come in and visit you for the holidays, because it's causing some tension and some friction, and my partner really means a lot to me, and it means a lot that we work cooperatively to all get along, or whatever. If it's a work situation, having HR get involved, having if you ask for something 3 times and someone is still doing it, depending on the severity of the problem, then sure, then at that point, that's when you want to up level. But if you're dealing with people who you are choosing to have in your life, and really look at this idea of choosing the people that you surround yourself with, because if you are on a path of personal growth and self-improvement, you are going to trigger people, quite likely, because you are going to start doing things and achieving things that they have been telling themselves all along were not possible for them. And when they see you do it, they're going to have a lot of feelings about it, and they're going to project those feelings onto you as judgment, envy, judgment. They're going to make up stories, they're going to make you into the bad guy, they're going to make you into the villain. That's going to happen, right? But at the end of the day, we really do choose our social circles. So I invite you to really look at the places in your life where you feel like you might be stuck socially, and just free yourself. It's not easy. I'm not going to say that it's easy, but if you're really looking to get your life to a place where your relationships are healthier and you feel more honored and more valued, then you're going to want to do some serious examination of the kinds of people that you keep around you. And your ideas about your social circles as they exist now oftentimes are really much more illusory than we make them out to be, right? We think that we have our friend circle, and our social circle is just like set, and these are the people that we hang out with, these are the people we know, these are the people we're surrounded by. But there's 8 billion people on the planet, you guys. You could up and move to a new city tomorrow, maybe economically that might take a little while to save up or whatever. I understand that not everyone has the privilege of just, up and moving, but we all make choices about who we surround ourselves with. And so there's always that opportunity just to like go to a new coffee shop, say hi to a barista, just opening up more and more opportunity for more new people to come into your life, and making sure as those people come into your life that you're discerning for those friendships and partnerships that are really healthy. Go take a yoga class, go, paint some pottery, go places where you're going to meet people who are doing healthy things that are also in alignment with the kind of things that you want to do, and then discern for those people who really value your feelings. And then it's not going to be a big deal, because you're going to know in your heart that if they are doing something to you that is causing you to feel bad, you're going to know that they actually want to know about that, and that when you bring that to them with kindness and compassion and constructive feedback, right? Just saying like, hey, I know you probably didn't mean this, but this is how it felt for me, and I'd appreciate if in the future we could handle it this way instead. Just being able to do that, they're going to take that feedback and they're going to express gratitude for it. They're going to say, thanks so much for letting me know. I appreciate that. I understand you a little better now. And there absolutely are people like that in the world. And if you fill your social circles with those kinds of people, then drawing your boundaries is not going to feel like such a big and scary thing that it might feel like when you're surrounded by people who react with negativity and defensiveness. And at the end of the day, that's really just discerning about what people really care for you beyond the scope of their own ego, and which people are prioritizing their own sense of self and their own sense of comfort and their own convenience and their own worldview over the reality of the way that their actions are affecting you. And you just don't want to surround yourself with people like that, because you'll mistake your your misery for anxiety and depression, and you'll over medicate yourself when really you're just surrounded by a whole bunch of people who don't give a fuck about you, and it's no surprise why you're depressed. So surround yourself with people who care about how you feel, and watch all your watch all your problems magically disappear. I say that, laughing or whatever, but I know that for me, discerning who really wants my well-being and who is in alignment with my health and my happiness and who supports my success and my growth, discerning for those people has absolutely been a life-changing decision for me. So I hope that you all do it as well. Thank you for listening, and I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.